The Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa governorship election is 21 days from now. The battle for who to pilot the affairs of these states is set to be determined by the residents of the state. Now, out of the three states, the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodimma, is fondly called the Supreme Court Governor, and that's because of how he emerged. But as the next cycle of election approaches, the governor will be at the political ring with People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party. Welcome to Standpoint. I am Precious Amayu. Now let's get into that particular election in Imo State. On the 14th of January 2020, the Supreme Court declared Hope Uzodimma the duly elected governor of Imo State. The court held that results from 388 polling units were wrongly excluded from votes ascribed to Mr. Uzodimma. And the APC in Imo adding that the first appellant, Uzodimma, holds the majority of lawful votes cast. Now, but since 2020, the governor has witnessed, and his governance in general had witnessed criticism from both within and outside the state, and that's basically mostly because of how he emerged. But in 21 days from now, over 2.4 million residents of Imo State will elect a governor that will pilot the affairs of the state. But the question is, will Governor Hope Uzodimma get re-elected, or the people of Imo State will get another governor come November the 11th? Those are the questions we'll be answering today. And we already have our guests with us. We're joined by the Director of Mobilization, Governor Uzodimma Re-Election Campaign Council. He's Jerry Chukwueke. Good to have you join us. He joins us via Zoom. We're also
thank you very much. Glad to be here.
We're also joined by Mike Ihenatu, who is the Deputy Governor, Director General, Overriding Zone, that's the PDP Campaign Council. Good to have you join us.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you both for joining us. I want to begin with you, Mr. Chukwueke, because you are the government in power. Your principal, who is the governor of Imo State, has witnessed and faced a series of criticism. Some say that he hasn't done well in the area of security, infrastructure, education, agriculture, that generally they score him very low when it comes to governance in Imo State. How do you react to this?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I don't know where you have got that information from. I lost her again.
Mr. Chukwueke, can you hear me? Please go ahead.
Now I can try again. Could you try your question again? Because I lost you for a while there.
I said some say, and mostly the opposition, say that the governor hasn't done well in terms of governance in the state. They have called him low in terms of infrastructure, education, security, and agriculture in the state. And how would you react to this?
I don't know which opposition you're referring to, and if they have actually been to Imo State. The fact of the matter is the exact opposite is what's on the ground. First, you did refer to a Supreme Court governor. We don't know what that means. All we know is that the governor won his election and so declared by the Supreme Court. And we should focus on that rather than all the name calling and all the nuances that don't add value to what we're talking about. Now, this great governor has done an incredible job in Imo State. And all you have to do is to visit. Your correspondents are here in Imo. The road infrastructure is second to none. It is one that has verses across Imo State and in fact connected by rural areas in the farm to market strategy. In addition to that, we have loads of the developmental strides in education, in quality healthcare, attracting federal presence, empowerment of the youth, particularly dealing with the big issue of unemployment that we had in Imo, and that is getting better. An example of that is now the 20,000 Imo youths who have been graduated in the Imo Skill Up program, which is bringing them into the global workforce in information technology and computer literacy. And they are now self-employed, and many are not only working on their own, but working for different firms. And we have another 50,000 of them that have been enrolled to be trained and certified and graduated in the program. Just for you to know, our government invested close to 5 billion only in the last few weeks to buy all the equipment and tools to equip our young people who have graduated from the Imo School. And I can go on and on. The Orashi project, I'm sure you're hearing about. The hydrogeographical studies has been completed. We now have a prospect of having a port in Uguta for middle and small vessels coming through from the Atlantic Ocean. The dredging of Uguta Lake and Orashi River all the way through. A lot is happening in terms of security that you mentioned. All we hear is the opposition saying, oh, governor hasn't done well in security, Imo is so insecure. Well, that's their story. But they will also confirm to you that they have, according to them, and they make a boast of it, as I've said before, moved around the entire 27 local governments of Imo State campaigning. Well, guess what? We didn't hear anything about insecurity. I'm not saying that Imo security is perfect and where it should be, but it is improving significantly. There's a lot of peace and quiet in Imo State, and I can tell you, as the governor resets for his second term, what we're going to experience is the deepening of good governance, and that's what we're focused on in Imo State. We have a movement that Imo people have built upon. Many members of the PDP have joined us, including about 8 of their former executives in their top echelon in Imo State, and thousands of them have declared for our party. We have a lot of people who are voting for Governor Uzodimma across party lines, and Governor is also particular about more peace and quiet in Imo State in now driving the Imo Charter of Equity, which rotates power after his second term to Owerri and to Okigwe and so on. So we have more peace and quiet, so his developmental strides will deepen. We are very excited about that opportunity.
Mr. Chukwueke, I know that you have kicked off your campaign, and as you go around Imo State, what sort of response are you getting from residents?
Tremendous response. Like I said earlier, it's a movement. And quite frankly, we are waiting the candidate of the PDP that the Imo people have asked over and over again to step down in line with the Imo Charter of Equity, because it is Olo's turn to produce a government. The Charter of Equity and rotation, or zoning if you would, is being practiced in many parts of Nigeria, particularly the Southeast. Enugu State, Abia, Ebonyi, Anambra are all engaged in the zoning process that we call the Charter of Equity. And in Imo State, this governor will drive it. He has the capacity to do it, and we trust that after his second term, the governorship moves to Owerri and then to Okigwe. So that's going on. And let me tell you, more and more peace is returning to Imo. People are buying into the Imo Charter of Equity and the great job the governor has done, and the train has left the station. And we're very excited about it.
All right, let me bring Mr. Henatu into the conversation. You've listened to Mr. Chukwueke there. He has read out the achievements of the governor, and he has said, look, it's on that basis that the people of Imo State will re-elect the governor. I want to get your response to that. And he also said that some of your people in the PDP are now defecting to the APC. I also like to get your response to that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, Chukwueke has tried his best to achieve nothing. But the fact remains very clear in Imo State today. He claimed there are huge infrastructural development. Let him mention where and where. You don't say go everywhere. Let him mention one route done by the state in every local government. I don't want to talk about that. We know about Olu Road, we know about Okigwe Road. These are federal roads, and the federal government has refunded the money. So if federal government has refunded the money for these 2 major roads, Owerri Umuahia Road is still ongoing, although with a substandard measurement. The minister came here and condemned the work, but all the same, the money has been refunded to them. If the money is refunded, then what has happened to the allocation for Imo State for the past 3 years? That's about infrastructure. He mentioned about health. Let him mention one place that the health infrastructure has been improved. For your information, I was the local government chairman. The basic health facility is the health center. The primary health facility belongs to the local government. Let him now say where it has taken place in the 27 local governments in Imo State. As a fact, the local government that is responsible for primary health, no election has taken place in these 5 years. He has made promise of 5 times during local government election, none has taken place. So as we talk today, we only have 27 people running the affairs of local government of Imo State as sole administrators. Then come to think of it, nobody is taking care of the health facilities. You know, the local government is in charge of health facilities. The local government is in charge of the market facilities. The local government is in charge of the local security. None is taking place. And that is why when he was claiming that there's insecurity is nearing a possible improvement, ask him this. The Civil Society and Liberty Organization and Rule of Law is an international organization. They gave statistics that 20,300 people have vanished. They've been killed in the last 3 years, and we have 1,300 people missing. We have 2,600 people, nobody can account for their whereabouts. This is happening in this state. In this state, ask him if he can go to Olo, a whole local government of Osu, Isu, about 4 local governments, there's no human being residing there. Let him go to the governor's home state in Omuma and find out if there's anybody residing in his local government. So what do you call security? And then that is making. He's talking about skill acquisition, empowering youth. Let him publish the 20,000 youths that were equipped. They said he did a training to 20,000, 15,000 people in a venue that cannot contain 2,000 people. The facts are there. Go to Hero Square, you can't contain 2,000 people, but he said 15,000 trained. But have it on record. Laptop were issued to 22 people. That was what was given laptop. Then if he challenges me, let him publish a list of all the beneficiaries. They said are Imo people. Publish them with their phone numbers, contact them. The schools that he said they derive them from, let them pull them out. We have Avanikoku, we have Futo, we have Michael. Let him pull all of them, publish the list. They are known. JAM publishes list of the whole students, they are known. Publish their names, publish their numbers, and let us challenge anybody who has received this. Now he's talking about a refinery or whatever. Please, my brother, let us be very factual. There's no such thing like that. There's no such thing like that. He's talking about education. Where is it? I have on record here, I can publish it to you, 4,200 teachers not paid in the last 2-3 years. In the last 3 years. And they're declared workers. They are living and working. They just
Mr. Henato, I will let Mr. Chukwueke respond to you in a minute, but I also wanted to speak to the question of people defecting. Just hold on. I want you to respond to the question of people defecting from your party to the APC.
How can you declare somebody working a ghost worker? It's not possible. See, so all the civil servants that are declared ghost workers, we have their details. We have published it in our rally. We challenged them, and they now hurriedly called the teachers in a meeting 3 days ago. Why that? Why do you declare them ghost workers? In the last 3 years, you have not paid them salary, 4,200. I can publish the list. I can give it to you here. So what is he talking about? You now go to our people. There's no market infrastructure anywhere. There's no, by 6 o'clock, there's no movement in Imo State. When Imo State used to be the tourist destination east of the Niger, by 6 p.m. you can't see anybody anywhere. Now you cannot see our youth walking along the street, because once they see 2-3 young men walking, they will just collect them. Where they will take them to, nobody knows. So with these days, no young man is moving around in Imo State. Let him challenge me. He lives in Awaka. Ask him to stand by his doorstep and see if he can see any youth walking along the street. Nobody's moving about again. Is that how to rule a state? Is that what he calls it? Then look at election. Local government is the basic structure of governance.
You have spoken about the local government election earlier, and I will let him respond to you. But just a minute, give me a minute to ask so that you can respond to the question I asked you about the state of the PDP in Imo State. He's saying that your members are defecting to the APC. We also know that during the campaign, the former governor, Ihedioha, was not there. The former governor, Denwa, was not there. Some members of your party in the House of Assembly were not also there. And so I wanted to speak to that. What's going on in your party?
Beautiful. I like this. If you know the population of PDP members in Imo State, you will agree with me that 7 people were bought over, not defected. 7 people were bought over out of the total population of PDP members in Imo State. But then ask him, how many APC members are now in PDP working for us? How many members, LGA chairman of APC people? I don't want to talk about other parties. That we had a flag off and the former governor, Achiku Denwa, is not there or was not there. It's not an issue because Achiku Denwa is our revered leader in the party and he is well aware. He is in Enugu and he's still there because of a zonal meeting. Emeki Hedioha is my brother. I'm an Igbo man. And you know, when somebody who is the head of the family is bereaved, the mother just died. After burying him, he cannot step out publicly in the next 12 months. That is my tradition. And the Emeka is the title holder in Mbise. So he cannot violate our tradition by coming out open to be jubilating and dancing. Because what we did there, people were dancing and jubilating. You don't expect that from somebody who just buried the mother. Mention who else was not there. I saw their publication. They included my name that I was not there. Hey, but lo and behold, I was the person serving them. Even our council secretary, Marshall, they wrote his name that he was not there. Tell me, so who else, what are we talking about? Even Dumebi, his name was contained in the list that he was not there. Where Dumebi was the person that was controlling the media, that was viewing everything live. You can see this thing based on lies and lies and lies. We can.
All right, looks like Mr. Henatu is having network challenges, but I would just bring in Mr. Chukwueke into the conversation. You heard what he said. He accused the governor of not conducting local government elections. I want you to respond to that. He also talked about market infrastructure and security in Imo State.
Your guest on the other side is referring to. Perhaps not the state I live in. First of all, as we speak, out of the 305 wards of Imo State, there are 264 functioning healthcare centers in Imo State. Number two, that the governor and his government embarked upon over a year ago is over 65% completed. Number three, just a few days ago, we were in Omuma, where the governor had a church he donated to his community, dedicated as a Catholic church. If you go to Omuma, as I did, and all of us did a few days ago, you will find that Omuma community was bustling. It is still bustling as we speak today. A few days ago, we were in Onitsha for an important assignment on a funeral program at the Holy Trinity Cathedral in Onitsha. And we went through all the local governments and all the roads to Onitsha. And Imo State. I don't know which state he's talking about. Now, with regard to the people he said he bought over, I want you to imagine him talking about the secretary of his party, the publicity secretary, the deputy chairman, key 7 leaders of the PDP, infected with thousands and thousands of them. They were there at the officials of our party at the government election. So what I hear is desperation. His candidate just lost his national secretarial position. We hear just yesterday or the day before, because he was doubling as a candidate as well as the national secretary of the party. We don't know which is really important. That's why their campaign in Imo has not been effective, because they are not sure what it is that he wants to do. And you can ask him, he's sitting here, what as a local government chairman in Ikedu for years, a member of the House of Assembly in Imo State, and a senator representing the Owerri zone in the Senate for 4 years. He can just ask him what it was his candidate achieved for his local government, for the people of Owerri in the Senate, and even when he was a member of the House of Assembly. I'm not here to do I see desperation in their campaign because it's a losing proposition. And I don't want anybody to get frustrated and be talking as if there's another Imo they created for themselves. The Imo is not, he's talking about, doesn't exist here. And there are correspondents on the ground to verify. In fact, it was so ridiculous that he said if I stepped out of my community in Awaka, and now it is just about 20 minutes after 2, that I won't find any human being moving around the street. It's amazing because he obviously is not referring to this state. Maybe he doesn't live there, or they've created out of desperation an Imo state of their own. We asked them to join the other 70 members of their party in leadership that have joined the APC. I think they should take up that offer because right now we're in a movement to re-elect Governor Hope Uzodinma. All Imo people are on board. We're making great progress. Our governor has done a great job, and we are confident to get re-elected come November 11th.
You didn't address the question of the local government elections. Why has the governor not conducted the local government elections in Imo State?
I tell you, that election is going to come up right after the re-election of the governor. He had planned to conduct that election about 3 months ago, but the speed at which we're preparing for re-election and the project didn't quite permit it. By the way, before I forget, my brother, the gentleman on the other side, was talking about healthcare and how none exists in Imo State. Your correspondents are here. Just in the last 3 weeks, the governor has commissioned 3 specialist hospitals. 3 specialist hospitals with the best equipment and tools, modernized hospitals in Nigeria, in Imo State. One in Oru, one in Ohajebema, one in Uguta area, and they are state-of-the-art hospitals that are providing healthcare. He has re-equipped the Imo State teaching hospital, in addition now to what he attracted to Imo, which is the Futo teaching hospital in Owerri that used to be FMC. So our healthcare program is moving very well. Our governor has funded the healthcare coverage of Imo civil servants, and we're now extending it to the general population of Imo State so they can get healthcare and be part of the insurance program. So, like I said earlier, I don't know which Imo he has created in his head. Maybe they have a different Imo, not the one that was existing there. And I stand fully by what I'm talking about because I know that. This is not a desperate campaign for us. We're in a movement. They are desperate. I can understand it, but nothing will change the defeat that is about to befall them. And it will happen because the Imo people, like I said earlier, are in a movement to re-elect Governor Hope Uzodinma. So Imo's good governance will deepen in the second.
All right, so let me bring Mr. Henato back into the conversation. I hope his network is better now. If you've listened to Mr. Chukwueke, he has answered some of the issues that you raised. I want to ask if you're satisfied with some of the things he said. And he also questioned the track record of your candidate, Anyanwu. He has said he hasn't done enough even in his local government to even now put himself out to be governor of Imo State. Talk to us about the track record of your candidate.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly reply him. Issue of Samdadi's track record. He mentioned Federal Medical Center as becoming a teaching hospital. He mentioned Avanikoku College of Education becoming Federal College of Education. Ask him, whose bill materialized this way? It was Samdadi's bill at the Senate that produced what we have today as Federal College of Education. That's Avanikoku, the oldest federal university in Nigeria. It was Samdadi's bill. This federal teaching hospital we have now is Samdadi's bill. Go to local government. I was the local government chairman. Samdadi built roads and health centers that are working till today. Now, as a member of House of Assembly, ask him this. I was in House of Assembly myself with him. Samdadi, I have to confess, was our best. It was our best. And Samdadi single-handedly asked Chukwueke if he used to pass through Wedra Road. That was where the timber shade called Oboshishi used to be. Nobody used to pass that road. It was Samdadi's motion as the chairman of Commerce and that moved Oboshishi to present Nazi, where we have the timber shade. But not bothered about that one. He lied about our candidate, that he was booted out as National Secretary. Please tell him it is a lie. Let me read the Constitution for you. The Constitution of PDP, Section 48(1) says, and I quote, "It is clearly stated that a member holding a non-office in the party at any level is required to resign that office or position when he or she assumes any office listed hereunder. Number 1, presidency, governor, vice president, minister, and all that, including Sam Daddy's office as national secretary. And he can only resign when you assume office. Maybe Jerry Chukwueke, he may have to go back to school to understand the difference between when you assume office and when you are about assuming office. Let him know the difference. Otherwise, Sam Daddy, as we talk today, has legitimate and legal right to remain the national secretary, and nothing like that happened. Let him go and act. Let him go and read the opinion of the legal advisor of the party, who said all the whole Congress, that him, Chukwueke, and his cause were pioneering so as to ridicule Sam Daddy. It was a nullity, because Sam Daddy, by the constitution of the PDP, is legally bound and protected to remain the secretary until the day he takes oath of office as the governor. But let him not hurry, because after November 11th, by 15th January, Sam Daddy will now become the governor of Imo State, and then he will resign from holding party office. But nevertheless, he wants to talk about the local government. Why is he lying? For the 5th time, he has made another promise that God is going to do it. When is he going to conduct the government election? I was a legislator. We made the local government law. We made the electoral law governing local government election. You have 3 months, 90 days to advertise the conduct of the election. If the conduct of the election has not been canvassed and advertised now, when the governor will be leaving office by January, will it get to the 3 months? By 11th of November, when he will no longer be active, this Jerry Chukwueke, where will you now canvass the local government election? Will be the 5th time. His own now is the 6th time. They are promising more people. Go all over. People have wasted their funds campaigning, but each time it will not hold. Now let's look at it. He's looking about the state and local organization. Which house is going to do it? His House of Assembly. We don't have House of Assembly again. What we have is a classroom for the little agents of the governor. I was a legislator for 2 terms, so that I'm not talking for the roadside. So this what we have today is no longer House of Assembly. When the speaker will get up and first of all go to the governor, get permission to know what to conduct in the house. Is that what you call legislature? So where is he taking his bearing from? He's talking about health. He cannot talk about health because the health centers we have in Imo State today, none is functional. None is functional. Or even the local government headquarters, ask him, let him go to his local government at Orata. He's overgrown by weeds. Ask him this. And besides, let me tell you.
So Mr. Iheanacho, I need to put you on hold. I will let you continue in just a moment, but we do need to go to break. And when we return, you'll continue with your thoughts, and then we'll also talk to Mr. Chukwueke. Please stay with us. We'll go on a break now. When we return, Standpoint continues.